Welcome back to the Boot Tragedies. The NFL schedule is finally out. I'll jump right into it. 17 games, obviously, this year. According to all the metrics, the Saints have the 31st easiest schedule in the NFL this upcoming season, only behind, or I guess in front of, the Atlanta Falcons. They have the easiest, schedule according to all the metrics in the NFL this season. And we'll jump right into a very interesting schedule for the Saints this year. Week 1, September 10th, we're at home against Tennessee. Open the season in the Dome against Tennessee, a team where they don't know who's the quarterback going to be. They have 3 guys, and Will Levis, who's their second-round pick. Then you got Malik Willis, who they drafted last year. And then obviously you have Ryan Tannehill, who's been in the league for a long time. Who knows who's going to be their quarterback? I think week 1 it's probably going to be Ryan Tannehill, and maybe those other guys will battle out for the second string. I think all 3 is going to eventually play this year. I think they're going to be a bad team. Derrick Henry has some trade rumors this year. We'll see what they do. But that's where we open up. Week 2, we get Bryce Young, rookie quarterback, number 1 pick. We're going to be at Carolina. Now, if you're a Saints fan, if you watch the Saints over the years, you know we go to Carolina early in the season. It's always ugly. It's always tough. It's going to be one of those games where it's 19-17, coming down to the last possession. It's going to be one of those ugly games. Hopefully it's not, but, if history shows you anything, it's probably going to be like that. Then we have Week 3 against Jordan Love, Green Bay Packers. Now, Aaron Rodgers is gone, obviously, so the Packers are going to have to, see how life is without him. Jordan Love's got an opportunity to, do his thing, and we'll see what happens. But that's 3 teams in a row where it's going to be kind of, quarterbacks that are not proven. Quarterbacks that are, up in the air, rookies, new guys on the block. You got an old vet with 2 young guys on his heels. Then, the same thing is in Week 4. We're at home against Tampa Bay. And that Carolina game is a Monday night game, by the way. We're at home against Tampa Bay. You got Baker Mayfield, Kyle Trask, another team where the quarterback situation is going to be up in the air. Who knows, what's going to happen in Tampa Bay? Who's going to be the starter from Week 1 to Week 2 to Week 3 to Week 4? They might rotate guys. I think it's going to be pretty bad quarterback situation over there. Then October 8th, we're at New England. Another quarterbacks. Maybe it's a quarterback controversy. Obviously, they got Mac Jones, but who knows? After Week 5, he may not be starting. Obviously, he didn't have a great season. Backup chomping at his heels. He might not be the starter Week 5. So that's 5 teams in a row. I think that's going to have quarterback problems and quarterback controversy. Then you go to Week 6. It won't be any quarterback controversy, but you also have the number 2 pick in the draft. You got C.J. Stroud. And we're going to be at Houston. That's another game. Quarterback's young. He's unproven. It's going to be Week 6, so it's going to be probably a little better for him, or it's going to be where he's going through growing pains. Maybe the first couple of weeks he's come out hot, then teams start to get film on him, and it starts to go south for him. So that's the first 6 games of the season where the quarterbacks are just, I don't know. So that's a good thing for the Saints. Let's get them. Let's play them before they figure it out. Then you got Week 7. You finally got a quarterback that's kind of proven, that's kind of, done things in his league. I believe that's a Thursday night game at home against Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence, obviously those guys went to the playoffs last year. And so far, that's probably the best team we're going to play up until Week 7. We have to start off the season fast. We'll kind of go into that a little later. But you're Jacksonville. Then Week 8, we're at Indianapolis. Another unproven quarterback, number 4 pick in the draft, Anthony Richardson. Another winnable game, going to be on the road against Indianapolis. They had a pretty bad year last year. Obviously, you picked number 4 in the draft. You were pretty bad. Then, Week 9, at home against Chicago. I won't say Justin Fields is unproven, but he hasn't really shown or lived up to that potential just yet. A lot of it isn't his fault, but it just is what it is. So, the first 9 weeks, we have 1 solidified quarterback, in my opinion. 1. Then you get Week 10, you got Kirk Cousins, obviously. He's been around the league. He's a good quarterback, not anything great, not anything special. Unfortunately, it's not a primetime game, so, he won't choke. Week 11, it's a bye week. Nobody Week 11. Week 12, we play Atlanta Falcons. That's a win. Don't worry about that. Week 13, we play Detroit at home against Detroit. That's going to be a pretty interesting game. Obviously, they got Jared Goff. Their offense was pretty good last year. Jamal Williams, going to be a revenge game for him, so we'll see how that goes. Then we're at home against the Panthers. All the things I said about, the Panthers Week 2, Bryce Young, this is going to be a difference. It's going to be Week 2 Bryce Young versus Week 14 Bryce Young. We'll see the difference when we get there of that quarterback play. Then Week 15, we have the Giants. I'm sure they're going to be pretty good. Again, made the playoffs last year, so we'll see. Week 16, another Thursday night game. We play the Los Angeles Rams on the road. Who knows who's going to be the quarterback at that point, man. Matthew Stafford was injured last year. They drafted Stetson Bennett this year. Maybe their season's over by then because I don't think they'll be very good, man, to be honest. So we'll see. Then Week 17, you got Tampa Bay. Bucks on the road. Their season's probably going to be over at this point as well. It's just they're not going to be good. So who knows what's going to happen. That's December 31st. And then January 7th, the last game of the year, we're at home against the Atlanta Falcons. And we know that's a win already. Don't worry about that. And that time hasn't been determined because it's going to be flexed and things like that, depending on, who's where in the playoff situation. But let's kind of go through, games that we can win or lose. I guess I'll do a win-loss right now just because, why not? Why not do a win-loss record? This is very, very early. I'll probably do another one of these, so, don't hold me to it. But opening game, Tennessee at home, that's a win. That's a win in my opinion. Week 2, Bryce Young at Carolina primetime. I'm going to give us a loss right here, and not because I think they're a better team, not because I think they should win, but it's the Saints. It's at Carolina. It's just what happens. It's just what happens. So I got us going 1-1. But this is where it gets interesting because I got at Green Bay, that should be a win. At Tampa Bay, that should be a win. We're actually at home against Tampa Bay. That should be a win. At New England, I'm trying to think. I think we're going to lose that game. I think we're going to lose that game just because the Saints, they're going to lose that game. A game they shouldn't lose. We always got to throw 1 or 2 in there, and they're going to lose that game. Thursday night against Jacksonville, after a short week, I think after losing. Oh, no, actually we got Houston. At Houston, that's a win. That should be a win. So that's 4 wins through 6 weeks. I got it at 4-2 through week 6, and I'll take that. Week 7, we have the Jaguars. I think that's going to be a really, really good game. Short week, Thursday night game. Going to be at home. I think we can get that. I think we get that W. So that'll be 5-2 so far. Then we have at the Colts. I think we win that game. So that puts us at 6-2. Then we play the Bears. I think that puts us at 7-2 through 9 weeks. I think we're going to be 7-2 through 9 weeks. And that's, obviously, that's really, really solid. 7-2 through 9 weeks. Then we have the Minnesota Vikings coming up to a bye week. I think we're going to lose that game on the road at Minnesota. I would love to win that game. I'm probably going to change that to a win just because I don't want us to lose that game at Minnesota. Get some revenge from the London game last year or wherever the hell we played. And obviously, Minnesota just doesn't bring back good memories. So after 10 weeks, I got a 7-3. Honestly, it's a very, very easy schedule through those first 10 weeks. We have to at least win, 6-4 at worst. 6-4 at worst. I got us going 7-3. Then we got at Atlanta. That's a win. I'm never going to have us. I don't care if we have one player on the roster. At Atlanta, that's a win. I got us 8-3. Versus Detroit, I think that's going to be the one right there. That's going to be the one. That's going to be the one. We're like, oh, you know what? We're riding high. We're 8-3. We're doing great. It's looking like we're screaming Super Bowl first round bye. Do you know what the Saints gonna do? They're gonna lose that game against Detroit because that's the type of shit we do. Welcome to the tragedy, man. So I think that'll put us at 8-4 on the season. Then we're at home against Carolina. I think that's 9-4. At home against New York, I think that's 10-4. The Rams 11-4. The Bucks 12-4, and then against the Falcons 13-4. It's really not many losses on there. I think the peak for this season we can go 14-3. 14-3, I think. I think I just had us going. I had us going 12-4. That's not even possible because that's 16 games. So 13-4 is what I had us going. So I think the peak for us is 14-3. I think I got us going 13-4 at this first look. I think the worst we can do is 10-7. I think that's the worst we can do if everything goes bad, if injuries happen, and Dennis Allen and Pete Carmichael just can't get. I think 10-7 may be the worst we can do with this easy schedule. I got us going 13-4. I think the highest we can go is 14-3, maybe 15-2. If everything falls right, if everybody's healthy, if MT's back to MT, Derek Carr, gets into the system and goes. But the schedule is not that hard. Of course, we're gonna lose a game here or there that we shouldn't lose. That's just the Saints. That's what's gonna happen. I got that Carolina as a loss, New England as a loss, Minnesota as a loss, and Detroit as a loss. Those are the 4 losses, on the season that I have. Obviously, anything can happen. We can lose all of them. We can win all of them. You never know. It's all a guess. Teams still aren't done yet, but I think those are the 4 losses for the Saints this season. First look. Very, very first look. We'll see. We'll see after, some other things come out, preseason come out. Let's see if we can get through the injury bug and these other teams can get through the injury bug before the season starts. But it's a very, very good outlook on the Saints season, man. Hopefully we can do well. Let me know what y'all win-loss, is in the comments below. Let me know how many games we're going to win, how many games we're going to lose, which games we, probably going to lose that we shouldn't lose. Things like that, man. I'm late on this, but, hey, better late than never. As always, this is Taboo Tragedies, and I'm out.